Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. Well, episode 2 dropped of Picard. We had a little bit of mixed feelings on it the first time. Let's see if we changed our minds with episode 2. Alright, episode 2 is dropped. Has it changed your mind in any way? Do you think the series is going in the right direction? What do you think?
Undecided.
I have different mixed feelings this time.
Okay, go ahead. Let us know what you mean.
Okay, well first, from the first episode, you guys were a little disappointed on how they were portraying Starfleet. So, has your feeling changed now that we can see that there has been some undercover bad guys?
An infiltration, if you will. Yeah,
so Starfleet has been infiltrated by some bad guys, and does that kind of assuage things?
What changed it for me a little bit, it was after they've said, okay, well, we've had 14 other factions that were ready to leave Starfleet if the Romulans were not sort of ejected or abandoned. And so they were weighing the good from the bad, and they just had to make a political decision.
Yes.
I can understand their point there.
So when Picard went in and said, yeah, I need this from you, and I don't know, was she
an admiral.
She was actually an ensign on the Enterprise.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she was.
Well, so when she gave him his dressing down, I said, hey, that's pretty good. She had some very good points. So Starfleet wasn't stupid. They haven't changed. They actually had reasons why they did what they were doing.
Right.
And Picard got dressed down, and I said, Picard's a good guy, but I like what happened.
I'll agree with that. I agree with that situation. He should not have just walked into the office and here's a ship, here's a crew, here's what you need to do. But now what they've done is they've turned it into, I'm going to get some pushback here. They've turned it into Star Wars, because now he's a rebellion. Him and his little crew that he puts together, and they take off in this ship, they're just a little rebellion. They're Luke Skywalker, they're Han Solo, they're Leia, and they are a rebellion against the powers that be.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
I think it's going to turn into, what was the series that was canceled after 1 year? Josh Whedon.
Firefly?
Firefly.
Yeah.
I think it's going to turn into that.
I don't think so. Firefly was fantastic.
I know, but I mean that's the kind that it's going to be a small ship, small crew, and we see them recruiting people now for the trip. It's not going to be the Enterprise, it's not going to be Voyager. It's going to be a small little like shuttlecraft explorer ship, and they're going to go on little missions here and there, and that's what it was, Firefly.
I don't know if they're going to be going on little missions. I don't think it's that kind of Star Trek. I think that they have a storyline where it's going to be from
They have the one story arc. That's it.
It's not going to be missions doing anything other than what's already been encompassed.
But it's going to be about the crew of this little ship.
I don't
even think they're going to have the little side stories. I don't think they're going to have much character development at all.
Oh, they're trying. Like, we now have the sister that's on the big Borg cube being made there by the Romulans.
And that's where I think the whole story is going to be
for the first
finished.
Year. Yeah, for the first year.
Okay, so I don't know what's happening with the relationship with her and the Romulan on that ship, but I'm not buying into that. He's a little creepy to me, and I don't see how anybody would not see that.
Well, she doesn't see it, and we can understand that if she has some kind of lusty blinders on. Okay, I can see that she doesn't see it. We're supposed to. They've already told us that he's a bad guy.
I get that. I get that.
And he's also the brother.
But if they're going to sell him as some kind of a heartthrob, get somebody who doesn't need work on his teeth done, or that doesn't have greasy hair. I'm not buying it.
So he's not your type?
He's not your type, yeah.
Although definitely not my type.
Considering in this they have the main character and then a new character should come in, and they both comment, the other new character goes, I didn't know that Romulans could be so hot.
Yeah.
If I was looking at that person across the room, I would not say that is a hot person. He doesn't stand out.
Okay,
So he's not Don's type either.
He's not my type either, thankfully.
He's probably just Paul's type.
it was something that didn't even occur to me. I just knew that the parts that were playing, they were playing it. So I don't need him to be the most gorgeous guy I've ever seen.
No, but they seem to be playing that as if that's what the attraction is. He is that. Because now they have other characters saying that. You know what I mean? Like, was that the initial attraction? Because it certainly wasn't the witty banter from the first episode.
No.
The 4 lines they spoke to each other before hopping into bed. Because that was not witty banter. That was just dialogue that, by the way,
You probably don't want to hear my sad story.
Oh.
Guess again.
and then they're in bed. So yeah, so the attraction was supposed to be the hotness.
Trust me, that line does not work.
He tried it the whole week. It didn't work at all.
Not once.
You know, so
I there's something I want to talk about this episode that is kind of, it's political again.
All right.
okay.
Okay, so this is where we can get into trouble, depending on the viewer. Okay, in the first one, I said there was a lot of politics in it, talking about refugees and immigrants and border walls and whatever, and I didn't feel any of that as I was watching the show, but other people are talking about it. But in this one, in this episode, it struck me in the face that other than Picard and a little bit piece by this doctor that shows up, you have the Admiral who's a woman, you have the Commodore who's a woman, you have the secret Romulan spy who's a woman, you have the sister of the android,
Who was the superhuman?
yeah, you have the housekeeper in Picard's chateau,
Who was the strong woman lead?
and you have the one that he goes to for help to go on his mission to get a ship, who is also a strong woman.
Right.
How hard are they going to smack you in the face with, hey everybody, we're only doing things with female characters now, whether you like it or not?
Yeah, no, I see that. Because other than, I don't really recall any other male character that sort of is involved in the story other than
The bad guy.
the weak housekeeper.
Or the bad guy.
The weak housekeeper or the weak bad guy who's dominated by his sister.
Right.
So you have some weak male characters, and you have some, every other one is a strong female character. Like, are they going to balance this out a bit? Like, I can understand that you want to make a point and say that, you know, it's okay to have stories with women in them instead of dominated by all men. That's great. But are you just going to flip it so that it's all women characters and men don't matter?
I think the answer to that is yes.
Because it really, I don't even pay attention to that stuff, but this one struck me in the face.
Right.
It's the way of the world right now in Hollywood. Hollywood has to go way over the top on one direction or another. It can't be about stories anymore, and it can't be about good writing. It has to be about, hey, we have to make sure that we're covering our bases. And no one can say that we're being sexist or we're racist or anything like that. That's what Hollywood is. Period.
Yeah.
Absolutely, period. Now, as far as going forward, who knows? Maybe by season 3, Picard will be killed off, and it'll be his daughter who takes over, and the series will continue from there with whole new.
Don't
character.
give it ideas. Don't do that.
But it's lucky this show is called Picard, because he might not even be in it.
But Picard is a last name.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Right.
why the daughter can take over.
Does he have a daughter?
Well,
They can make it.
I think they've sort of alluded to, like, the android girl is sort of the offspring of Data and maybe Picard chromosomes in there as well. I'm not sure.
I don't think they're going that way at all.
Mark my words.
Again, in episode 2,
Data and Picard's love child.
my best.
That's where we're at right now.
She could be the daughter of my best friend. At what point in the Next Generation was Data the best friend ever on that show?
I mean, they were a tight-knit little...
Yeah, but he was always
crew.
dismissive of Data. He would tell him to be quiet. He would tell him, Data, enough. It's number one. It's Troy. It's Doctor. There's so many other characters that were much closer to Picard.
I don't know. I
There
don't know
was.
about that.
I watched the series over and over again.
As did I.
And I still do, though. And I trust me, out of all the characters on the bridge, he's probably the least that Picard was close to.
Well, he did fight for his own,
But he would do that
his
for any
own
crew
rights.
member. So that's not any.
Well, yeah, but all the other crew members are alive.
Except he stood up for number one when he was accused of murder and stuff like this. He put his own career at risk for him. So he does it for everybody. So that's not a special thing.
We do have the story arc that's sort of coming. We have, what is it, Bruce Maddox. Now, do you remember Bruce Maddox from the original series, from The Next Generation?
No.
Bruce Maddox is, I believe, the guy that was trying to claim that Data was property so that he could dissect him to learn about him.
Mm-hmm.
In the court case where Riker was representing, was
Data.
fighting against Data,
Yeah.
right? So Bruce Maddox is sort of the mind behind all of the artificial intelligence, and he's the leading expert right now in the Picard series. This is the Bruce Maddox I keep referring to.
Well, either way, we're rambling a bit. Did you think episode 2 was a good show?
I enjoyed it, but I thought there was a lot of time wasting in it. I'm hoping it gets a better flow in the next episode where more things happen.
It does
I think
seem...
once they get on the ship, it'll start to...
See, that's the thing. When the Mandalorian hit, every episode seemed interesting from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
This one starts, and it seems like it's trying to tell you a bigger story in every episode, and it's taking a long time to tell us that story.
What's bothersome to me is that everything in this series seems to be a secret faction. You've got the Tal Shiar, then you've got the secret faction that's sort of the boogeyman to the Tal Shiar, I forget what they're called. But
Jacques Vache.
John Vash that nobody believes in, but they have this magic wand that can show you what happened last week. I don't know. I don't know if I really liked that.
Well, it's only episode 2.
They have a magic wand that can show you the past, but they can't figure out why the androids turned on them.
Maybe it only shows emotions, and androids don't have emotions.
Nope.
Well, it's only episode 2. I haven't said to myself, yep, I'm not watching this anymore, like I did for a lot of the Discovery shows.
I'll keep
Star
watching.
Trek Discovery.
However, with The Mandalorian, after episode 2, you were saying,
Oh,
I'm
when's the
all
next
in.
one? When's the next one?
Yeah.
When's the next one? This one I'm saying, I'll watch it when it comes up.
I'll watch next week.
And you know what? When I'm watching this show, I find myself distracted a lot because of how slow-paced a lot of it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So, well, that's our opinion. It's not horrible, but it just seems to be a little slow right now, a little hard to get where it's going. And a lot of people are saying this is the best Star Trek show ever. And if you're saying that, you're wrong.
Tell us what you think.
But if
Tell
you
us what
think that, let us know. Have you watched episode 2? What do you think? Where do you think they're going with this direction? Do you think it'll get more action-oriented? I don't think so because Picard's 90 years old now. So I think it's going to be a slow-paced, story-driven
It's a slow burn.
explanation thing. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I hope you liked this video. If you did, why not check out some of our other content down here below? And until next time, we'll see you on the channel.